Yo, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Check. What's up, guys? This is your boy Darnell Jordan of S-Town Productions with another video for you this afternoon. Welcome to another lovely, beautiful edition of Speak Everything into Existence. This is hang on a second, let me see. I got the right one here. I won't switch it. This should be good enough for now. Welcome to another edition of Speak Everything into Existence with Darnell Jordan. I'm your host, Darnell Jordan of S-Town Productions, and I hope everybody is doing well, being blessed, and living their best life. Everybody staying safe during the pandemic. And basically, I wanted to take today and speak about the Mamba mentality and living with the Mamba mentality as we today celebrate what would have been the 42nd birthday on Earth for Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace to Kobe. Rest in peace to his daughter Gigi and all the 6 to 7 others that lost their life in that horrible plane crash back in January. I got a little story to kind of talk about in regards to that. So literally a week before that tragic helicopter crash, I was in LA for NAMM 2020. And while I was at NAMM, make sure I got everything in here so nothing gets sorted out here. Let's do focus assist, make sure that's on. While I was at NAMM, I had a great time. That was my second time in Los Angeles, really visiting with all the beautiful musicians. Just had a great time. This is right before everything was doing the shutdown and pandemic in March. But on my way back home, I had to take a late night flight on the way back home. I had to take a flight from LAX to Philadelphia, which like crazy enough was like the same destinations where, Kobe grew up in LA and as a ball player and was born in Philadelphia. And I remember from that flight from LA to Philly, there was a lot of turbulence. I was sitting next to 2 women. There was a black woman that was sitting on the left of me and another lady that was sitting on the right of me. And, this young lady that was on the right of me was kind of chilling, but you could tell this girl, this lady that was sitting on the left side of me was very, she was visibly distraught. She wasn't really feeling comfortable with a lot of turbulence. I wasn't feeling comfortable in the turbulence. It was late night. It was January, so the weather's not fantastic going from coast to coast from LA to Philly. So it was a little bit nerve-wracking. I can understand that. And I remember on the way back home from that flight, let me turn down a little bit. On the way back home with that flight, I was trying to find a sense of peace, because I'm on this flight for about, 6 or so hours. So I'm trying to find a way to kind of keep myself like chill. And I remember I would play my meditation music because it was late night. So I'm already trying to find ways to fall asleep. It was late at night and I put on my headphones And as I put on my headphones, I'm blasting meditation music the whole ride through. There's shaking, there's turbulence, there's everything going on, and I'm not really feeling very very strong right now. And I wasn't really feeling very confident in the journey back, but I knew I also had to figure out that I had to find peace. I had to find peace, and I played this meditation music for about 6 hours. Tried to fall asleep, and I'm trying to focus, right? The details, the nuances, the atmosphere of what I'm hearing, blocking out the outside. But I was it was just strange, like coming from that LA to Philly trip with that turbulence, and then finding out a week later after I'm teaching the class, and I'm visibly distraught as I get these texts flooding in my phone saying, "Yo, that's crazy. I know he's your favorite player." It's like, what are you talking about? And I found out that Kobe had died, and his daughter and 6 others in a plane crash. So it was a very rough day for me, hearing that, because I idolized Kobe. I idolized Kobe, and not only as a basketball player, but just as a human being and a person, and the way that he looked at the game. I appreciated Kobe for the championships and the play that he did. I just loved his game, very similar to Mike's. But when I got older, and a couple of years after he was during his retirement, I really started paying attention to how he was living life with that same mentality. Won an Oscar. Spending time with his family, trying to teach his daughter Gianna the ways of basketball. And I really started paying attention to, like, for me, the Mamba mentality is like, it's the clear attention to detail on everything that you do. And I started seeing it through this man's eyes a lot deeper when I saw how he approached the game, how he looked at the game, how he looked at opponents, how he looked at how to how to be a jack of all trades, and be like a student of all aspects of life. Like he from a kid that came out of high school that was very smart, like you could tell, like he was very like eager to learn every and anything that he could. And like he moved through life the same way. There was so much beauty in how he just moved as a human being. And I took a lot of, there was just so much beauty in that. And I loved Kobe even more deeper than that. Than just the ball player. I loved him as the person, and it was heartbreaking, and it took me out for a while after he passed. But I tried to find ways how to do my sense of the Mamba mentality, as so to speak. So, so this week, and as you know, speak everything into existence is kind of more like a we talk a lot about like mental health in this podcast. We talk a lot about you know uh, life goals and bettering yourselves, and situations and relationships and things like that. So I was working on trying to find my ways to give into the detail, right? How to be detailed in my life. So earlier yesterday, to be exact, I went to Green Lake in Syracuse. If you guys have never been there, you know, like next to like waterfalls, like that is probably one of the most beautiful parks in the state of New York. And I took a 60-mile drive just to go over there and just like walk around, write in my journal, find some peace and just relax. I was texting my counselor, as I'm doing counseling now online with BetterHelp. And I looked at a lot of different things as I was going through that journey. So originally I was supposed to have at least one friend that I was trying to get to go. I think I invited like maybe three people that I wanted to come with me to kind of join into this peaceful journey along. And I had three people with no responses, which to me at the time was very frustrating because I like to this was something I wanted to be able to share these moments with people that I enjoy. And unfortunately they couldn't make it. I couldn't force them. I couldn't be mad at them. I just had to live life. And I had to reproach my journey there that way, where I had to take matters into my own hands and stop looking for validation from other people to try to go through that. You guys have probably seen that in some of my posts recently. But I took that journey. I did a walk around and I just took a breath of fresh air and just breathed. And there was a lot of people that day. And there was a couple things that was in my mind while I was going through that was me riding solo. And just over a year ago, I was there with someone that I considered special to me at the time, that I expressed interest with. She was a very special person. And I remember we took that journey on a walk together. I think she wanted to go, and I wanted to kind of put that initiative to say, "Hey, if you want to go, we can go. We'll set some plans right now." And we went, and we got together, and we walked maybe about halfway through the lake trail. I remember we walked about halfway through the lake trail. And then we walked back. And I was wondering, it's like, we could really go through this entire journey, but we didn't. But I was more than okay with this decision that was made. And I remember that there was a little bit of a disconnect when we got together. There was a disconnect near the end of that where I was second guessing myself after I made a gesture, and she didn't really feel comfortable, and that kind of helped me because then I was like, okay, no, did I do something wrong? So it's not, I'm just not comfortable right now. That's okay. That's fine. I'm sorry. It's just, no, it's fine. And there was an awkwardness on the way back, and I just felt bad because I'm like, did I do something wrong? Right. So my mentality is like, okay, what is it that I've not, this is something that I haven't seen before, right? So it's like, how do you try to learn to adapt to that? And still, we had fun, we had a good time, but things didn't work out the way that I would have wanted it to at the time. So I did. This took a toll on me, and I think a year later, looking at this a year later, I took that journey for myself, and rather than looking for like everybody else to kind of join along with me, I took this as a sense of closure to say there was unfinished business at this location. I'm going to finish it myself. And I took the initiative and walked that entire trail around. And maybe it's like a mile, if that, the walk around, but I wanted to make sure that I finished it and enjoyed the journey that I was on as I was going through it. And I just saw a lot of beauty in that, beauty in the lake, beauty in, the surrounding people, and just enjoying their time, and me just finding myself a sense of peace, right? The Mamba mentality for me is like putting attention to detail on that. The Mamba mentality for me is like putting detail into the craft that I work on so hard for every single day when I try to make music. The Mamba mentality for me is just all those aspects of just being the better person that I am in life. and just like really start paying attention to the body language and the just like reading into myself as well as try to read into to other people, but not try to, but also learn that like how to be stronger as a person to make those steps move forward. And I know I'm kind of rambling here, so bear with me as I'm talking about this, because this is something that I consider important. So it's Mamba mentality for me. It's just there's just so much beauty in the Mamba mentality. And I'm thinking about like can I keep this momentum that I've carried going. So I haven't heard, you guys probably haven't heard from me in a little while on this podcast or any beat making stuff. I've been working on. I took roughly about 3 weeks or so off, just to stop making music, only because I was just not in the right mindset. I needed to refresh my mind and really start paying attention to, okay, what can I do to create that momentum again? The pandemic has been a very rough time for me, especially with all the social unrest and injustice that's going on in the world. I talked about it on my Dog We Gotta Talk podcast. We talked about how there was a rally that was back the blue rally that happened where there were participators that decided to use slurs to people that I know, to black people that I know, and unbeknownst to them, they didn't even realize that she was an Army veteran, which, regardless of what her status is at all, does not make any difference or any sense at all that you can say those things and thinking that it's okay. So, where exactly is the motive here? Where is your focus on the matter? Is it about backing the blue, or is it about being having hatred for people that are not like you? And but we move forward to better ourselves as human beings, and we will continue to fight and we continue to grow. I remember Kobe Bryant talked about Lakers were up 2-0 in the playoffs, and the reporter that asked him, "What's the deal? Are you not happy or half happy or what?" And he said, "What is there to be happy about?" It's like, you're up 2-0. It's like, job's not finished. Job finished? I don't think so. He still has 2 more games to win. We still have more months to fight before voting day. We can't get comfortable just because we're ahead. All right? It's the old tale story of the tortoise and the hare all over again, correct? The tortoise and the hare, we talk about it time and time again, right? Tortoise and the hare, and it's sad that the hare, the hare had so much leeway, was so ahead of the game, and got comfortable because he thought there was a slow tortoise. And then you fall asleep. One moment you slip, they wake up and they come in and take care of business. You know what I mean? So it's funny because I was just watching the Clippers versus Dallas Mavericks, and here's another little bit of analogy. Kawhi Leonard gives it up to Marcus Morris for a corner 3-pointer with 3.7 seconds left. They have the lead in overtime. They're jumping. They're getting excited. Oboe with the three is over here, doing the body bump, thinking that this game is over. The defense is going to cover for him. Little do they know, Dallas Mavericks have a player named Luka Doncic that can come up, grabs the ball, crossover dribble, step back 3, buzzer beater, game over. Series tied 2-2. Without their second best player in Kristaps Porzingis. He carries that team. He carried that team to the victory. And, and they could have folded after they made that bad decision, right? They could have folded that one moment, making that bad decision of doubling up and then, doubling up on one player and leaving a wide open shooter. And he makes the three, and then they could have been defeated. But they also realize when you look at the time on the clock, there's still time to make a move. And Luka Doncic capitalized on that. I think Luka had that Mamba mentality where he's like, okay, all right, y'all can laugh and joke and get all excited stuff now, but game's not over. Their journey's not over. They tied the series up. They still got 2 games to go. The Clippers got 2 games to go. Don't get excited because you're ahead or you caught up. Finish the job. Everything gets excited when you start the journey, right? When you start things with somebody special, or when you got a project that you've been waiting to get to for so long and things like that. But if you are not putting in the work to continue it, have the consistency, have the build to push through that journey, right? Like, the job has started. The job's not finished. Like, just because things are going good in the first half doesn't mean that things will come into turmoil. And you what are you going to do to continue to fight when it all hits the fan and things aren't going your way? How are you going to combat that? Is your Mamba mentality going to click on there and make that push, that turn? That's the Mamba mentality for me. That's the beauty of figuring things out. That's the beauty of understanding your people, like understanding like how to be up, how to take those initiatives, how to push through the unfortunate situations when they don't go your way, how to push through that. For everyday people is for people who are struggling like me with always trying to find validation, always trying to look for answers to stuff. It's like, what do you do for your own self-love or your own self-care to better yourself rather than looking for somebody else's validation? And that's the Mamba mentality. How to really tune in and fight that uncomfortableness and find that sense of freedom and push through that, and learn when to take a break and take a rest and learn when to step up when it counts. So that's a Mamba mentality for me. So I'm still continuing to work on it. I'm still going to continue to put the details into it, and I'm always still continue to speak everything that I want into existence, invest, involve, and evolve. So thank y'all for tuning in to today's podcast. Happy birthday to the most inspirational man that I've ever got to witness from afar, in Kobe Bryant. May he rest in peace, and may his family be all well. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for joining with me. If you guys got questions upon future discussions that you want to talk about with us, feel free to leave them in the comments. As always, you can look up all of my my social and music media at the bottom of the screen. As you can see, there's my YouTube page. We are on live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch as we speak. There are music on the music media platforms. Music is coming up soon, and SoundCloud. Check out my Cash App if you feel generous to send some donations over. I really appreciate it. But thank y'all so much for your time, and I will see y'all soon. God bless y'all. God keep y'all. Speak everything into existence.